Yo, welcome back to the channel. This is your boy Raynell Jamal. I know I've been gone for a while, and since I've been away, there's been a lot of talk about how hip hop died. So let's talk about it. Just follow his voice and brush the devil off your shoulders, and remember what I told you. The world is yours. Yo, welcome back to the channel. So allegedly, hip hop is dying. Hip hop has died, and this narrative has been coming from a certain fan base for about 3 months now. They're trying to say that hip hop died because of the battle and because of Kendrick Lamar and because Drake is being viewed differently now, that hip hop is suffering because of that, because he isn't the main focus point and he isn't putting records out, or his stuff isn't staying on the charts because of the masses, and because of that it affects everybody.
I need all the Kendrick fans to give yourselves a round of applause, because for the first time in 35 years and 8 months, there is no rap songs in the top 40 of the Hot 100. Give it up for the dot era, man. So you're telling me that there's no hip hop songs in the top 40 in the dot era that supposedly, according to these 4 media pundits, saved the entire hip hop industry and revived the genre? There's no rap songs in the top 40? Wait, so there was a hip hop song in the top 40 when there was unity amongst artists like this, and then 8 or 9 years later, there was a hip hop song in the top 40 when there was unity in the industry like this, but all it took was an angry troll from LA being mad about being left off a song with 2 of his better contemporaries, Drake and J. Cole, for us to be ushered into the dot era that saved all of hip hop. Hip hop is saved. We can finally listen to tunes again because Kendrick came and saved the day. Doesn't look like the case. It seems like the case is that when multiple people in hip hop are thriving and sharing their space is when hip hop can thrive. Like J. Cole said in 2013, Drake saving hip hop, Hov saving hip hop, Chance the Rapper saving hip hop, K-Dot saving hip hop, Ab-Soul saving hip hop, J. Cole is saving hip hop. Or better yet, what could save hip hop are Drake, Kendrick, J. Cole, and Ye all working together to get free and own their music instead of corporations and mega millionaires owning their music and having them fight amongst each other. But nope, y'all that say the K-Dot era saved hip hop will just be happy for sellout number 1 to give sellout number 2 the opportunity to prance around on the Super Bowl stage and form the American flag in the name of protest. Give it up for yourselves, man. Hip hop is saved. Thank goodness for Kendrick and the dot era. Oh my goodness. I need all the Kendrick fans.
The irony of the very people that say they love hip hop in its purest form being the reason that hip hop is dying gotta be studied, bro. Now let me cook. See, these people, they're stuck in time, and they want hip hop to stay stuck in time with them. Okay, so what they do is they sit on their high horse, they talk down on anything, they judge anything, and they just dismiss anything that doesn't sound like it comes from a 10-year time span that they attach their entire identities to. Now, after this Kendrick Lamar and Drake shit happened, that sound kind of made a resurgence in a way, and leave it up to them. They'll say, oh, this has been a great year for hip hop. Oh my God, look at all these albums. But the reality is, if you look at the numbers, it hasn't. Everything is down. 60, 70, 80%, bro. And why? Because that sound is outdated. That sound is no longer relevant. People don't really want to hear that shit unless you're, like, again, stuck in that time. Now, I'm not saying that I'm against the foundation. I'm against the stagnation that comes with that mind frame. I love lyricism, but we need to update it. We need to bring good production back, and we need to bring songwriting back. You guys got to get in a time machine and come into 2025, bro. It's over.
And I'm calling cap. I'm calling cap on that. And now, to further this narrative, Billboard came out with an article saying how for the first time in like 30 years, hip hop is not on the top 100 charts. So now that fan base is using that article as a way of trying to prove their point, to try to say that hip hop is dead because of Kendrick and what he did to Drake. They don't even want to talk about the lawsuit that Drake is doing that is playing a part in his own hip hop career demise. They want to blame everything on Kendrick because they believe this narrative that Drake put out in his lawsuit of things happening within the labels and bots and all of that stuff. But If you actually read that article from Billboard, the Billboard talks about a lot of different things. Number one, it wasn't actually, I felt like the article was kind of disingenuous. It really didn't touch on a lot of different things that's contributing to why hip hop isn't charting the way it used to. I want to talk about that. Number one, when did Billboard become the authority on hip hop? When did Billboard become the authority on hip hop? When I was coming up, we didn't look to Billboard for anything to do with hip hop music. And when I was coming up in the 90s up to the 2000s and everything, wasn't even a genre of music that they felt was legitimate enough to give it a real chance. It was like, oh, it's a niche thing, whatever. But the influence is great. Cultural influence is everybody want to talk like hip hop, dress like hip hop, use the lingo, the slang, our sense of style. But the music, they really didn't. I wouldn't say have a great level of respect for as far as rap music. But we never, as I was growing up, listening to hip hop, going to buy CDs, we never looked to Billboard for anything of that type of information. We looked to legit hip hop publications like The Source, Early Double XL, Vibe Magazine. We looked to blog sites when it came to that for like all hip hop, Two Dope Boys, like real legit publications that are for hip hop, that was birthed out of hip hop and wanted to be a voice for artists that were coming up and to be a voice for hip hop out into the world. So we don't even consider Billboard to have any type of say so on what's going on with hip hop. That's number one. Number two, I find it odd that we have now gotten to a place where we want to blame a particular artist for doing what hip hop was built upon. We're blaming Kendrick Lamar when we're not even blaming the labels. And we got to talk about that. The labels have been spending the better part of almost 5 to 6 years getting rid of major players in the music industry that help build hip hop up to being this juggernaut at one point of the most consumed music in America and actually the world. You had these executives that was A&Rs, that was, seeking out talent, developing talent, and then presenting them to the masses. Well, a lot of these record labels have gotten very lazy. So instead of seeking out real, organic, authentic artists that are building up their fan base from the ground up, and instead of investing into them and then putting them through artist development and then presenting them to the world, what the industry did was got lazy. They start plucking up reality stars, they start getting social media influencers, and then they're like, oh, all we got to do is just put a good beat behind them. We'll give him or her some writers, and then we'll give them a stylist, and then we'll make them a star. And now we're here. So now you take the artists that are truly about the art form, truly about the artistry and being innovative and pushing the boundaries of creativity forward when it comes to rap music and hip hop. You made them so underground. These are the people who embody the essence of hip hop. You made these artists so underground that most people don't even know that they exist anymore. Or these artists have now gotten smarter and said, we don't need the music industry anymore. So we're going to just go straight to consumer. Go to my website. I'm a big believer in physical media. I buy vinyls directly from the artists that I like, um, because I feel like that keeps the culture, that keeps the artistry alive. Support the artists that you love. So because the record labels have now went to the lazy route, and you're now plucking up talentless people who don't even like rapping, who don't even like making music. How many artists, these young artists you've heard who just disrespect the legends and the architects of the game and then be like, oh, I only look at rap like a lick. I'm only here to make some money, then I'm out. These are the people that the record labels are signing and in pushing. And you think that that's supposed to sustain mainstream rap music on the charts? No, because it's not quality music. We're not talking about that. That's number two. So number one, Billboard is not the authority on hip hop. Number two, the record labels are not investing in the artistry of mainstream rap music. And I'm not saying everything has to have a boom bap underground sound, but there used to be a sense of authenticity from every artist that was presenting themselves, whether they were making club music, whether they was making conscious music, whether they was making boom bap, or they was just making mainstream music. It was a sense of creativity, being innovative, and authenticity uh, that each artist was bringing to the game. Not one artist was trying to sound like the next artist. They wanted to be their own thing. Now we have so many artists who are clones of the next. You got, how many Futures do you have out there? How many Lil Waynes do you have out there? And I'm not talking about like being influenced and then you taking bits and pieces of different artists to create your own style. I'm talking about flat out sounding like another rapper. This is what the industry has been pushing and promoting for a long time. It is an unsustainable business model that was bound to fail. It was bound to fail. So that's number two. Number three, the music industry made you believe an illusion that only one person was carrying the genre when that was never the case. They made you believe that Drake had this 15-year reign because of streams and Billboard chart placements. Ironically enough, those are the type of metrics that can be easily manipulated as we begin to see unfold when it comes to this battle and then when it comes to Drake lawsuit. Even when you listen to Young Thug talk about how he was able to buy bots to make Gunna's album go number one. When I was coming up, I actually had to go to a store to buy a CD. There's a difference between pure music sales and then downloading streaming. See, the thing is, Billboard and the labels, they work together. They have to keep each other fed in order for their businesses to grow. And it's so ironic that now they want to pop out this whole narrative that there's basically no rap music charting. But if you read their article, you'll realize that what they did was change a rule that a song can't stay on the charts, I believe, no longer than 13 weeks, and then they would take it off to give other songs a chance. Well, the song that was on the charts was Kendrick and SZA's Luther. And now that song, they decided to retire it off of the charts because it was been on there for more than 13 weeks. And ironically, they did that to make room for Taylor Swift's new album that has like 14 songs on the charts. Do you see what I'm getting at? Easily manipulated metrics to make other people or a particular genre look successful. This is why we do not care about Billboard. We care about real hip hop culture and what the people feel. That's why Not Like Us became such an undeniable hit because the people decided it was a hit. And I know it's hard for a certain fan base to believe it. I know it's hard for Drake to accept that, but that's the reality of it. So the industry made you believe that Drake was the one. They put all their money on Drake instead of investing in the future, instead of investing in the success of hip hop. And you know the reason why they didn't do that? Because they don't care. Because they don't care. This is why you can't live or die by the charts. You can't live and die by those streaming numbers. You can't live and die by all these award shows. I mean, we love Grammys and all these American Music Awards and Billboard's awards, music, MTV Music Videos Awards, but those only hold so much weight. When we were coming up, the Grammys wasn't even a big thing because it took a while for the Grammys to even recognize hip hop as a respectable genre of music. For those who don't know, Will Smith and the DJ Jazzy Jeff won the first Grammy, but they boycotted it because they didn't want to televise them getting the trophy. You understand what I'm saying? So this is why we don't hold much weight into these type of metrics. We never really did. Real hip hop fans don't worry about that. But the industry made you believe that Drake was the one. They put all their money on him. They didn't invest in the future. They paired him and positioned him with different type of artists to give him that hip hop tag. Meanwhile, he's also being placed to cross over into multiple genres to try to say, oh, this is hip hop expanding. No, that's not hip hop. That's pop music expanding. And there's nothing wrong if that's what he wants to do and everything like that, but you don't have to put the hip hop tag on all that he does. So now what happens is you ruin the representation of what hip hop really is, the perspective of what hip hop really is, because You're trying to say hip hop is this commercialized mainstream popular music version of rap other than this. And just to clarify and just to kind of push my point further, remember when Yasin Bey said this?
Truth. We're here for
Drake
truth.
Drake is pop to me.
In the sense that it's charting like pop music, popular music?
In the sense, like, if I was in Target in Houston and I heard a Drake song, so it feels like a lot of his music is compatible with shopping.
Commercial music.
Or it's
Commercial music, yeah.
shopping with an edge in certain instances. Or,
Fair. I like Drake's music, but I understand exactly what you're saying.
of course, I mean, I
It's
get
commercial, entertaining, fun, good,
it's
formulaic music that is
it's likable.
likable music, yeah.
Look at this place. I mean, look at this place. They have everything. Everything's here. They have everything here. Ah, this is great. This is a new Drake. You hear it? It's great. Okay. What happens when this thing collapses? This is the thing that we're talking about. It's like nobody wants to talk about. It's like, what happens when the columns start buckling? Are we not in some early stage of that at this present hour? Are we seeing like the collapse of the empire? Buying and selling. Where's the message that I can use?
Right.
You know, what's in it for your audience apart from being like banging the pom-poms?
And now we're panicking because we're here now. It's never been one person to carry hip hop. It's always been a collective. When I was coming up, you had Snoop, Tupac, Biggie, Wu-Tang, all at one time doing their thing. Then you had Rockefeller, Rough Riders, Bad Boy, Death Row. Then No Limit was emerged, all contributing to the success of hip hop. Outkast, Bone Thugs and Harmony, De La Soul, A Tribe Called Quest, all at one time contributing to hip hop. Jay-Z got that line. The only people moving units is M, Pimp Juice, and us. Different styles of music, different looks, different flows, different sound sonically coming from different regions that was contributing to the health and the greatness of hip hop. Now what we done is try to concentrate it. The industry has tried to concentrate it to look the same, sound the same, to be the same. They only want to go for surefire bets. Like, okay, hey, he sound like Lil Wayne is good enough to get by. Let's go ahead and push him out there and make him a star. Now you got Lil Baby out here struggling because he's not good enough as an artist. I told you guys before that hip hop was recalibrating. And this is not the first time it's recalibrated. So before I get to my next point, which is the recalibration, let's just do another rundown. Number one, when did Billboard become the authority on hip hop? Number two, the labels stopped investing in hip hop and artist development. Number three, they made you believe the illusion that one person was carrying the genre. And then number four, hip hop is now being recalibrated. Hip hop is in a recalibration stage. We have new listeners, new ears. People are growing out of what they liked before. Some people are entering in to discovering a new side of hip hop, and that's okay. You know, another time that hip hop was being recalibrated? Remember the mixtape era when basically artists decided to make full projects over different type of beats to release music, either because they was in contract disputes, they wanted to keep their skills sharp, certain music that the labels didn't want to put out because they were stuck in these contracts, so they decided to put the music out on their own, free, downloaded. The industry didn't know what to do with that. So you know what they did? They shut it down. DJ dramas get rated, and then a whole era of rap music is almost non-existent. There's a generation of kids who don't even know about the digital mixtape era because the labels in the industry only wanted to be a part of it if they could able to make money off of it. Now we're starting to see certain classic mixtape from that era starting to pop up on streaming. Hard to find to download for free, but now you have to buy a mixtape. You see what I'm saying? The industry is always going to try to find a way to get their hands in the pockets of these artists whenever they feel like they're being cut out. And because of this battle, a lot of things have shifted. And I think it's beautiful for hip hop. I think it's a great situation for hip hop. Hip hop needed to be recalibrated. We needed people to start to recognize what hip hop truly is and what hip hop isn't, because the lines were getting too blurred. You know, you got country artists who could dress like a hip hop artist but still do authentic country music. You see what I'm saying? You got pop acts who will rap in their songs. Would you consider that hip hop? Would you consider that country artist hip hop just because they dress or have a chain on and everything like that? This is what I'm saying. And then my last point in conclusion: how can hip hop be dead and dying when we got some of the best rap albums in a long time? You know, we got GNX last year, at the end of last year. We got the Clips who released the album. You got Freddie Gibbs and Alchemist Alfredo 2, Chance the Rapper with Starline. We got JID. What God Does Like Ugly. Stove God Cooks is about to drop this month. We got the Mobb Deep album that dropped, the Ghostface album that dropped, the Raekwon album that dropped. I mean, should I continue on? Hip hop is doing fine and it will be fine. But would it look different? Of course it's going to look different. And it should look different. We shouldn't look like everybody else. We should be our own thing. And hip hop was recreated out of being a rebellious genre of music. It's always been the reason why it was meant to shake things up. It was never meant to fit in, to become the standard, or to be put into a mold. No, it's always meant to shake things up, to say the things that nobody wants to say, and to do the things that nobody wants to do. Are we gonna have different versions of rap music that's not gonna be conscious and positive all the time, or anything like that? Of course. And we're not talking about that. When we lose the creativity, the ability to be innovative, the ability to be authentic, the ability to be original, then that's an issue that has to be addressed. And hip hop always has a way correcting those issues by being recalibrated. And that's all that's happening right now. So it's okay if hip hop is not on the charts. It's okay. Hip hop is alive and well. You know how I know hip hop is alive and well? I went to a Chance the Rapper concert, packed out, got a vinyl. The Roots have a picnic every year. Authentic hip hop, putting on mainstream, mid-level to underground hip hop artists. I've been to it. It's amazing. They have music festivals and hip hop festivals all over the country, still doing hip hop, playing hip hop music. I don't know how many hip hop concerts or rap concerts that I've been to with underground artists that are selling out venues all over the country. Just because something is not on the charts doesn't mean hip hop is dying. Hip hop is fine. Do we need Drake to be the figurehead to push hip hop forward? No, that's only in the eyes of the empire in the music industry. They feel like they need him, but hip hop is fine. We're not going to talk about hip hop dying. We're not going to talk about hip hop turning into rock and roll or jazz. Nah, we're not doing that. Hip hop is doing what it's supposed to do. It's correcting itself at this current stage. So if you're a true hip hop fan out there, I'm sure you've seen this before. You're not alarmed by what's happening and you're okay with it. If you thought you was a hip hop fan, but your music taste with rap music was only based on the charts, the streaming numbers, social media, as far as what they tell you is hot or not, then maybe this could be challenging for you. But I'm here to reassure you that hip hop is going to be fine. Any style of rap music that you like, you could go and find. We used to seek out those artists. I found Little Brother through a message board, and a homie of mine was like, yo, you got to check out this group. They ain't never charted. You feel me? I remember when Congress was trying to take the freedom of speech away from Snoop Dogg, Uncle Luke, and Tupac, and they fought to have that freedom of speech. And that's when hip hop was not even respected at all. But still and yet, y'all expect one artist to carry and elevate a genre of music in the eyes of office data scientists. At the same time, that same person is trying to take away the freedom of speech for hip hop because he lost a rap battle. Make that make sense. The math ain't mathing. So in conclusion, hip hop is fine, but we need to stop allowing others to control the narrative. Billboard is not a hip hop publication, and they should not have any type of authority to speak on the health of hip hop. We need to hold labels accountable, demand more, demand better. And on top of that, support the artists that you love, even if they're not charting or being on every TV show where you hear their song everywhere. Stop believing the illusion that hip hop, it could be carried by one person. No, it takes a collection, a bunch of different factors to keep hip hop healthy and alive. And then number 4, in conclusion, like I said before, it's okay for hip hop to be recalibrated right now. It's necessary and it can only make the genre better. I'm glad I was able to come here and just chop it up with y'all. I saw a lot of talk about this and a lot of people were just getting besides themselves. I'm seeing a lot of different points being made, but not anybody is truly putting the blame on where it needs to go. Let's not allow these different type of publications or infrastructures to try to change the perception of a genre of music that I truly love. I love rap music. I love hip hop. But we got to be able to, we got to go to the places where hip hop is thriving. We got to support the artists. We got to seek out those artists. We got to spread the word about these artists because that's how we keep hip hop alive. And in case you didn't know, this year, hip hop is thriving. So I'm going to see y'all on the next one, man. Peace and blessings.